Hi there, my name is Rich. I use the he, him pronouns and watching my YouTube channel where I play amazing tabletop role-playing games with friends. This is part of my ongoing anthology series where I call it Star Wars Saturdays because we play on Saturdays. And every month I choose a different actual RPG system. Some are an easy fit to the Star Wars setting, some take a little bit of hacking and pruning. But this month in particular, January 2021, my goodness, I'm running a game called Hyperspace D6. Hyperspace D6 is a very, very scaled down version of the original Star Wars RPG, which came out from West End Games way back in the late 80s. And this version is, instead of a hundreds and hundreds of pages, is like a 30-page Google Doc that I also further hacked because I wanted all the roles to be player facing and I wanted to get away from the several goes to make combat happen. And so it's a hack of a hack of a hack. But the original was from Star Wars RPG, which is the first time, like, for me in Star Wars Saturdays, because every other series that I've run has been a system that was not officially Star Wars RPG. So this one, I feel like I'm bending the rules a little bit, which is exciting. It's dangerous. It's very dangerous. We're in the third session of the Hyperspace D6 system. I've been using some of the Edge of the Empire background material and modules, and it's been really fun. So far, we have a team of infiltrators who were sent to Arda 2, which is located inside this Imperial remnant, because our timeline is about the same time as the Mandalorian, somewhere around there. And so there's this Imperial remnant under the command of a former Grand Moff who has dubbed himself the Warlord of the Empire, a despicable man by the name of Warlord Zsinj, so fanatically devoted to the concept of the Empire that he turned in his own mother for being, uh, yeah, for defecting, for not being true to the Empire as he saw it. So within this section of the galaxy, the Zinj's Empire, as it's called, there are folks who work within the structure who are not super honorable. And you guys were sent as infiltrators to a place called Whisper Base. It's located on Arda 2, this jungle planet. And Whisper Base was used by General Dardano, who reports and is part of the command structure of Warlord Zsinj, who has an enemy within the command structure that he wanted to spy upon. So you guys snatched this base out of Imperial control, but because Dardano had not, all of his own people were here manning this small base using SIGINT and various comm traffic monitoring. He is not currently aware that you guys have secured this base, as far as you know. He also can't really bring the might of Warlord Zinj's Imperial remnant down upon you once he finds out, because this base should not exist. You have found that there is a large official Imperial base here on Arda 2, as well as some folks who are not super happy about the encroachment upon their world. And we will pick up where we left off last session with you entreating with some of these folks, the Beast Riders of Arda 2. So you guys had met with them and had a conversation with three of them. Salbo, who is a Wookiee and a Beast Rider of the Klazka clan, and Pak and Foth Shemar. And we had stopped right at the point where you guys have been challenged if you want to have a moot to speak with the other Beast Riders to try to build or foment some revolution here in this Imperial controlled world, that you would have to ride one of their flying beasts called Raping. And that is where we stopped. So let's First, before we introduce ourselves to everyone again, go through our safety tools. We have lines, which means we are not interested in this content, against pandemics, sexual assault, violence, or coercion, and torture by PCs. We have a veil, which means that content can happen if situationally appropriate, but we'll fade to black or do a Lucas style screen wipe away from it. And that's on sexual content. And then we have ask first, which means this content could be okay, but please check in with the table before you introduce it. So if you have an idea and it is related to either of these two categories, check in like player to player before you drop it in. And if any one of us says, hey, can you try that a different way? Then please avoid using that. And that is on the ask firsts are on suicide and midichlorians. Yes, someone took a look at this character keeper and said midichlorians, and I said, you don't know how much passion can be brought up by the conversation of midichlorians with some Star Wars fans. So I often put ask first just so we can all check in. For some reason, M counts isn't really offensive to me, but midichlorians does tweak me just a teeny little bit. The idea of putting your science in my weird religion is odd. So let's go to our character keeper so that we can introduce our players and have them tell us a little bit about their characters. So let's start from the right-hand side, which means Will, you get to go first. Introduce yourself. Tell us about your character.
Hi, my name is Will. My pronouns are he, him. Others of Lieutenant Keltrazik, a former bounty hunter turned rebel soldier, turned rebel commando, turned rebel commando again. Well, no, turned bounty hunter and then rebel commando again, actually. And now he's sort of nominally in charge of this field team of adventurers and desperados looking to overthrow Warlord Zsinj's hold on this planet.
Delightful. Thank you very much. Sabine, you are up next.
Yeah, hi, my name is Sabine. I use any pronouns. I'm playing Syra Tarvo, who is a Sigerian who grew up among Wigways. She is a member of a mercenary guild, I guess, but they're also have bounty hunters, and some say that there are pirates and smugglers among them, but that is surely that is some kind of lie, or misunderstanding. Anyways, she's here because one of her popsies got into a spot of trouble, and she's trying to repay a debt to the Republic, and also seems kind of fun, right? But you get to fly stuff. She's a pilot, and she likes to fly stuff a lot.
She's a mighty fine pilot, in fact.
Oh, she won the Minas cluster race, the Tour de Minas earlier this year.
That's right. She's got the trophy and everything, friends.
Also, she's maybe a Sigerian princess, but who cares about stuff like that? Sigerians are slavers, and slavers are bad.
Maybe a pirate, maybe a princess.
Maybe both. A little
Definitely
of both.
A pilot. The pirate pilot princess. That is a new children's book that's coming off the shelves like crazy. Dave, you're up. Introduce yourself. Tell us about your character.
Hi everybody, I am Dave and I am playing Zhao Pierre, a Wookiee noble. Last time on, I have managed to convince many Imperials of the benefits of the Republic. I cannot bear to see another person in chains and believes there must be hope if the Republic is ever going to stop being more than a rebellion. Today, I intend to talk at the moot and find out if there is a Mr. Salvo.
Perfect. And then last, but certainly not least, is Cody. Introduce yourself. Tell us about your character, please.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Cody. I use he, him pronouns. Today I'm playing Temet Ardan. He's a ranger, a scout with the New Republic forces, operating under Lieutenant Trazik. And he's got a little bit of a stim addiction, but now that he's knows that it's cool, he might be a little bit less sketchy about it in his efforts to stay level.
Nice, fantastic. So that's the crew that we have. Before you came out to meet with these Beast Riders, your base was secured by Major Leda Mothma, yes, the daughter of the famous Mon Mothma. And she and her small staff have started to take control of the base so that you guys can handle things on planet. You left behind 3 prisoners who are currently being housed within the base with the expectation that as soon as you're able, Captain Boscovar can take your freighter and fly them off to some prison outside of the Imperial Remnant. And you have a number of Imperials who are working under supervision, and yeah, maybe they are they're going to join up. Zhao Pierce seems to be confident in their lack of duplicity and their faith, and that he has recruited them. And the dice kind of tell us that maybe Zhao Pierce right.
Members of the Starforger clan now. We're family.
That's right. Love it. Bunch of bold Starforgers. It's great. So we had cut right at the point where Salbo and Puck had slipped off of their rippings, and the challenge was laid. And we, out of character, had said, "Well, what are you going to have to roll in order to do that?" And I'm going to go with the more fuzzy story gaming idea of, well, what's your approach? What is your plan on trying to ride the ripping? I don't think anybody's going to be able to jump queue in front of. Look at me, I'm using European terms since it's like 3/5 European in this game. Jump queue to ride the ripping ahead of her. So Zyra, what does it look like as you try to tame this wild ripping and ride in order to earn the trust of these beast riders?
Well, first of all, I said hello to the Raping, I guess. Maybe a little, at least.
Ooh, what does that look like? Is it like she just curt nod, or did she come up and try to pet the
No,
thing?
I totally come up and try to pet the thing because it could bite and I don't want it to. So I pet it. It doesn't make a lot of sense, yeah. But it also it's interesting, and I've never petted a Raping before. So what could go wrong here?
Awesome.
So I will pet it and avoid being bitten by it and laugh when it tries to and like it's a joke. And I will growl a little, but playfully. And then I will just take a little run and run up the leg, I guess. And just before it realizes that I've done this, I'm up on and cry out something like yeehaw or something.
That's great. That is fantastic. So it sounds like you are being pretty bold here.
Always bold.
Oh, that's wise.
What I'm trying to use is agility, though.
I
with
think
the
that would
running
be a
and
good
being-
call. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you're letting the Raping do most of the flying. You're not trying to command it as much as hang on for the ride. So the thing
Yeah.
quickly it beats its wings in the air and takes off. And please give me a roll of your agility, which defaults up to your dexterity. This is going to be a moderately difficult thing. Now, remember, everybody gets a force point. If you haven't, yeah, everybody's got a force point. We assign character points. So let's see how this goes for you, Zyra.
Yeah, I'll have to fill. Okay.
With moderate, your difficulty is a 15.
I know. I'm
Okay.
trying to roll the dice, but I am obviously I'm doing something wrong. No, I'm doing it right. I've got a 15 exactly, and the destiny die, which is the first one, is a 6.
That's right. The destiny die is our first, and a 15 is exactly what you need. But that 6 gives you an unexpected triumph. So you hold on to the Raping as it careens around, and then there's a point when it kind of does a little bit of a barrel roll. Perhaps, perhaps there's a moment where that could be terrible, but you are able to hold on, maybe kind of clenching your knees together, holding on to the little saddle that has been placed on this Raping. And when it comes on the other side of the barrel roll and you've let out your triumphant yell, the Raping makes this weird kind of sound, and then it Comes.
Oh, I try
runs
to
over the
replicate
trees.
the sound. That is a fun sound.
And so it descends and then lands very gracefully on its back legs. And Pock, I think you jumped onto Pock's ripping. She comes up and runs her hand along its neck and whispers up to it. She says, "Oh, she likes you," and laughs a little.
I like her. What was her name? I will ask a lot of questions now.
Oh, cool. So her name, as Rich will now jump over, I think her name is. Oh yeah, let's jump over here to some. Oh wow! I just realized that one of my Gamorrean names sounds a little bit like Grogu. So let me delete that. Sorry, I did not name these things off the top of my head, which is dumb. I should have named them. So Buka is the name of the rapine that you have written. Buka is her name. Good. Okay, good. I'm not on a face. I noticed everything was quiet for a second. Not unfrozen. Good. So you seem to have earned their trust. Pock, she mentions that Buka likes you, and Buka the rapine makes that purring noise that rumbles low in her long neck and throat. Yes, Buka is exactly it. I'll actually go ahead and stick that in our NPCs because why not? So I'll stick it right underneath Pock. I've got a picture of a rapine. There we are. All right. Salbo will incline her head again, and she holds on to the reins of her rapine and looks to you, Jalpir. Would you like to ride Yumin?
Yes. I think Joe Pierre will look at the creature and stare it straight in the eyes, forming a bond of one of a commander and a rider. I'm going to attempt to command it into please doing what it is told and not throwing me off or eating me.
Ooh, you want to try to command it to make your difficulty in riding it a little easier. That sounds awesome. Let's see you do that. Let's see if you can command this thing. Because you are another Wookiee, I'm going to say that it is merely a moderate difficulty to not cow, but gain the trust of this rapine.
Cool. So I will be rolling 4 dice.
Yeah, you're rolling 4D.
I roll a 14. My first dice will be a 1, though, I'm afraid.
Oh my! So slightly under. Do you want to burn any character points, or are you going to?
What was the difficulty again? It was 15.
It's a 15. Yeah, it's a 15 difficulty.
Yeah, I think I better spend a character point to take it up to that 15.
Okay. Oh, and it's Ruping. I keep saying Ruping, but it's Ruping. So anyway.
I may be doing the one of the drama dice that I've done. Oh, I've succeeded. I've done so well that this rapine gives me a huge, big, wet lick, and I am dealing with this excited puppy dog rapine, which is licking me, going, no, no.
Oh, that sounds great. I love that complication. Let's just roll with that. So the Ruping, who seems to really like you, excitedly licks you to the point where your fur gets a little matted, and it looks not super like dignified, but Salbo it gives out rumbles low laughter. It's not a mocking laughter. And then you now get to ride it, but things are easier because it likes you. It doesn't want you to fall. So you have an easy time at it. You only have to beat a 10.
And is that the command again?
I think it is not. I think you're going to need to. I think you're going to need physically, like you've already commanded it. It's doing everything it can to stay underneath your command. But I think maybe this will be either something along the lines of your agility or your athletics.
I think it will be athletics as I damply cling on for dear life.
Sounds good to me.
And I roll a 12, but this time it is a 6 on.
Perfect. So, yes, there are no further complications, and you are an impressive rider because, yeah, no one worries about the fact that that things were made a little bit easier for you because it was your command of the beast that caused things to go well for you.
I may use my 6 to look impressive and mighty in front of that Wookiee hottie.
She seems quite impressed. And when you mean...
I will mention that he's single when she looks at him and he's so impressed.
Yeah, Salpo kind of glances over at you. Like, there's not an obvious, like, that's a great idea, more of a surprise. Like, that didn't occur to her or something. But then her smile seems a little wider when he comes down and she moves up to take the reins of her Ruping. Is there anything you cannot do, Starforger?
It says, looks, ponders. No.
She does that Chewbacca laugh. And then Foth Shamar, who has not left his Ruping, looks to you two humans, Lieutenant Kazik and Ranger Ardan. What are your reactions? Are you going to try to join up and do this same crazy thing, or let the two, Zyra and Jalpir, be the ones?
Temet looks to the commanding officer. Is this something we both hop on, or what do we do?
Foth says, if you do not ride, you will not have the ability to speak at the moot. You can be the guests of those who have.
I think Temet kind of like weighs it and he says, I don't particularly feel like talking, but this looks like fun. And he's gonna hop on board.
Nice. All right. So I think that if Zyra will relinquish her beloved new friend Buka, then that is who you will ride. And I'm curious, what is Temet's approach?
Buka's fine with it.
Buka's reserved about this.
So it's two roles. It's an approach and then an actual ride roll. I think the approach is it's survival. I think Temet knows his way around animals, or he recognizes the telltale signs of this isn't what you should be doing, or this wants you to do this. And it's not quite xenology. It's not knowing alien physiology and stuff like that. It's just experience. It's just experience in the wilds.
Ooh, cool. So yeah, just your survival instincts are kicking in for this approach.
Yeah.
All right, sounds awesome. So we'll call that again a moderate difficulty because it is not as challenging a situation. It's not like they're attacking you, so that survival is helpful.
Moderate is 15.
It is.
4 dice. The most I could get on 4 dice is what? Okay, all right. I can. This will happen. This will work. Oh yeah, it works. 17.
Nice. So you read Buka. Buka's in a good mood after experiencing Zyra, and so you slide up onto the saddle and you find the foot stirrups and the rein before you feel the wind rush, and yeah, maybe your helmet flies off as it hops over a set of trees, and you start taking air. How are you going to handle this?
I think at this point it's agility. Tammet has seen the way Zyra and Jaupir rode the Rupings, and they know what they're doing. So he just needs to hold on. It's not even like he needs to guide. He's gonna let this thing kind of go through the loops because it knows what it's doing.
Cool. Go ahead and give me that agility roll, which defaults to dexterity, and this will be pretty easy. Okay, is a good grouping.
All right.
She
And I got a 6 on the destiny die and a 19 total.
Fantastic. So you glide over the treetops and you get a beautiful view of the jungle and everything in the distance, and you're able to pick out that there are a pair of TIE fighters that are skimming across. They're several miles away, so your fortune is that you get a heads up. You know that they're approaching before you hear the scream of the TIE fighters, but they seem to be going on a patrol over the jungle itself. What do you do?
As soon as I clock them, Tammet kind of gets on the comm link. Keeps one hand on the reins for the moment, and he speaks over the comm. He says, "We got 2 fighters flying over the jungle. They're a few miles out. They're not close, but they're not far."
Cool. So you, Buka, kind of peels off, and she dives quick down, kind of skims across the trees. You hear the rustling of the tops of the branches and the leaves as she tries to keep a very low profile, wings out wide, and then she pulls up at the last second to kind of just come down hard, but then there's just enough of a gust of wind at the very end, and she lands very deftly on her back legs. And
I'll dismount, and then seeing the way that Buka seemed to recognize that I saw TIE fighters and then knew to keep a low profile, he's gonna kind of pet the side of Buka's head or give her a scratch if she's like indicating the spot. I don't know if they're like cats with wings, but and he just kind of whispers, he's like, "Oh, you're a smart one, aren't you? All right." And that's away. Lieutenant, I think you're up.
Well, I ain't getting on one of those things.
Faz Shamar chuckles, and you can see he wears like this kind of mask over his. He says, "I heard you mention there were Imperial ships in the air. It is best if you do not fly now."
Well, I think now or later or whenever, yeah. Ain't never been much for animals.
Salbo says, "Jaupir, you will not be offended if we hide from those ships."
So these are impressive creatures, but taking on a TIE fighter with them on our first ride, I think perhaps we should know our limits.
She relaxes. Was worried.
Disappointed face.
Disappointed face from Zyra. And then you start to hear the screams in the distance, the scream of the TIE fighter, not people. As they're coming closer, you hear the rustling of the trees ahead as they scream in low. Do you guys take cover, or do you want to take aim? Lieutenant Trazik, what do you tell your team?
I mean, I don't think any of us one of us is carrying something that might do a damage to a TIE fighter. The rest of us are not quite so well equipped, I think.
Since you've nixed me using Buka for it, yeah, I'm not that well equipped.
Get down, like they spot us. We're going to have Imperials out here fast.
Cool. So you guys scatter out of the small clearing and take cover just before the TIE fighters scream overhead.
As soon as the lieutenant gives the order, Tammet, drops to the ground, falls into some foliage or whatever, turns into a bush. I'm going to pull out my blaster carbine with the scope, and I want to get a sight on them just to see if there's any other information I can gather from it. Like if checking the side of the TIE fighters as they fly, oh, these have markings of such and such, or these are, these clearly are from this outfit, whatever.
Yeah, that's totally cool. I love it. Let's go ahead and have you, I think you're making a perception or search check.
All right. 3D. 14. And
Right.
Destiny die is a 6.
Perfect. So you're able to pick out that these are from Gyrene Base. And what you can also pick out is they're on a very simple patrol. As you watch them, they head across the jungle, but then it seems like they have a perimeter that cuts off before Whisper Base. So they, in perfect formation, the two of them cut out and then they slide around. So they have some kind of circular patrol that they pull for Gyrene Base, doing visuals. And it's a pretty simple patrol. Like they don't drop any scouts, and they may report back if they saw anything. But from the reaction of those two TIE fighters, the fact that they zipped over top of you guys without pause or doubling back, I think you guys are in the clear, Tenet.
Cool. I wait for them to get out of a distance where I know they wouldn't pick up the comlink chatter. And then I'll get over the comm while we're all hidden and relay this information. Simple patrol. They didn't know we were out here. We should be okay. It's what we thought. They're from Gyro Base.
Well, if they got a lot of flights like this, I'm not seeing how we're going to do a grand meet of the flying beast tribes.
Oh, and Pak will say, the mood is held far from here. We will meet on the Demon Moon.
Nice.
Oh, great. The Demon Moon.
That
So-
sounds exciting. And also we get to fly there because we can hardly walk, right? To a demon moon.
Again, we have the Chewbacca laughter from Salvo. So, yeah.
I was just wondering, is this a case of we, star wipe to the flight to the Demon Moon, or we
That
have
was
to kill
exactly
Phil time?
where that's a
Perfect,
great cut. Like, do you want to star wipe to the moon? Did you want to deal with Darristead? There was a mention of that. Is there anything else you guys want to take care of, or should we jump straight to the moon?
Can we fly with the Rupings to the moon, or do we have to take our ship?
Gonna need to take your ship. The Rupings are their Rupings.
I mean, sure, we didn't need to step on their toes or anything, but we can take our ship. Yee.
My vote is for star wiping to the moon rather than opening up another front in the negotiations and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm good with that, I think.
Sounds cool.
Just wanted to know if we had our ship on the moon for later.
Well, yeah, that's exactly what you would need. You will need, if you're taking, I assume you're taking the Tempest / the Gundark / the what is it currently called? Instigator.
Instigator.
No. Yeah. So did you bring the Instigator with you then as you guys are coming in? Awesome. Sure. So we pick up with the Dreaming Gundark, the Tempest, Carwus Loss, aka the Instigator, the old Republic Clone Wars era transport as it is coming down, and you're coming down through the canopy of the trees because the Demon Moon, and of course we're jumping over it, so it's there are monstrous beasts that dwell on the moon of Zsinj. And it is the largest of Arda 2's 4 satellites, covered by a dense jungle similar to that of the world it orbits. The ecosystems of the planet and the moon can be attributed to a quirk of the moon's orbit. It brings the atmosphere into contact with that of Arda 2 once a year, allowing a few specially adapted life forms, such as the massive flying Rupings, to travel between them. This happens to be one of those times. So the two atmospheres do touch, and any of the oceans that exist on Arda 2 are having very high activity. The tides are very high here. So as you fly on the Instigator up to the foliage of the Demon Moon and pass through a piece of the canopy following the nav point that was given to you, you guys see that there is this cove and this huge, brilliant waterfall, and all of the moot attendees are at the base of the waterfall. So there is a huge amount of canopy and cover, and it's actually very dark here. The only light is what the Arda 2's sun, what comes through the canopy itself. So it's very loud from the waterfall and quite dark and cool. There's very humid, right? So there's this huge spray from everything that all the water that slams into the rocks beneath. And you see that there are a number of different Ruping Beast Rider clans here. They are gathered together, and there are a few fires that are set. And so you guys, as you bring the Instigator down and land somewhere near the river that trails off from this waterfall, what, Lieutenant Trazik, what do you do seeing this? There are hundreds of Beast Riders here and dozens upon dozens of Rupings.
I look him over and I whistle and I say, well, ain't going to do much against 2 squadrons of TIE fighters, but sure be a hell of a hand if we ever need to defend Whisper Base, or, once we can make a real push against Jiren, as long as we can get some heavier firepower to back them up. I look over at Zhao Pe. You reckon this is going to be one of those trial by combat sort of things, or are we going to use our words?
I think we should start with words.
Well, all right.
The
What
Republic
comes to
is not a military force. We are not a rebellion anymore, Lieutenant, as I keep saying. We are a legitimate government.
Yeah, we're a legitimate government without a standing army on this planet, and an hostile enemy force occupying it.
Said that this is their planet. We're here to help them take it back, surely.
Exactly. But I ain't gonna see them get burned out of the sky trying.
I agree.
Well, seems like we're on the same page then, Zhao Pe. I slap him on the back. And then if Zhao Pe does the same, I stumble down the ramp.
Hey, when it comes to firepower, have you ever thought about asking a few maybe mercenaries or something? Because I know some guys who are really good with firepower.
Yeah, I mean, depends on what Commander Mothma can free out of the kitty fund, right? But
Yeah, they really like liberating things. Planets.
That's probably a
places,
reason
people.
they sent us for, instead of hiring out a squad of hit folk.
Yeah, because it was a secret base and we had to do it secretly.
well,
But if we're going for Jaren, things might be different.
well, we'll cross that turbo lift when we get to it. We'll take that turbo lift when we get to it. But for now, let's see if we can get all these guys on the same page, and then my main thinking is that for Whisper Base, it'd be really useful to have some aerial scouts out there, give us a heads up on any imps moving in. We ain't got many people, but we do have that AT-ST and a bunch of other things that we can use to our own advantage, as long as we've got some warning. And Beast Riders would make a hell of hell of a defensive perimeter. Maybe if we can convince them to stop. Maybe we could find out what they think about the natives, about the other natives as well. Like, I hear that they ain't got too friendly a relationship, and if this planet's ever going to be free of the Empire, they're going to have to come together.
So we cut from that conversation of Trazic as you guys are walking up to an obvious flashback. And during this flashback, we see Tammet. You're in Whisper Base. This is obviously some time before you guys are about to leave. And Second Lieutenant Mia Charcourt, who is the comms officer that reports up to Major Mothma, she comes to visit you in the officer's bunk that you've taken. And she says, I understand that you're headed up to that demon moon for that wild moot with those beast riders. Is that right?
You're well informed. That does appear to be the itinerary for tomorrow's trip.
That's crazy. How could you even... listen, because the moon and Arda 2 are connected, you guys will be able to travel between worlds without clicking anything on the orbital sensor net. I was thinking it might be advantageous to us if maybe you set up some range boosting equipment for the SIGINT array. I don't know how the beast riders would feel about that, but she reaches into her pack and pulls out this like little metal array boosting equipment that you recognize from your basic training on comm equipment. But if you could set this up somewhere that has good eyes to the sky, we could probably scan everything across Zsinj's empire.
He nods. He says, "It's a good thought. You're doing a lot of big picture thinking there. I'll take this. I'll take it up with the lieutenant. It's a good idea."
Okay. I just wasn't sure how the Wookiee would feel about it.
The Wookiee isn't a part of us. He's here, but he's not a part of this organization like that. Or she Wookiee, whichever Wookiee you're referring to. The point is, that's up to the lieutenant. So I'll take that, and we'll take care of this.
Cool. So then we cut to Jalpir and Zyra. Maybe Jalpir, you see Salbo, and she comes up, and she's going to present you with this like set of beads that she's fashioned that looks very similar to the set of beads that the other members of the Klazka clan wear somewhere on their people. And Zyra,
I
yes?
leave them. I totally leave them with some sort of excuse, and I will attempt to dissuade anyone who tries to go up to them from talking to them right at that moment, because these two right now need to have a bit of space.
You're like wing woman.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
totally.
perfect.
Totally.
Cool. So
They're so cute.
So Lieutenant Trazic and Tammet, you guys hang back at this point, and as they're moving up to
Nudge with the elbow and wink and like nod at them both as they go away. Like, yeah.
Oh, Tammet, did you have
I
anything?
muted myself. What's up?
Oh, yeah, it's okay. Did you want to have that quick conversation with Trazic, or you want to save it for later?
Yeah. If this is while they're out flying and whatnot, Lieutenant, one of our officers brought it to my attention that we could set up a comm array, some sort of boost on the Demon Moon, extend our signal, and it would be in such a manner that it wouldn't trigger any sort of sensors from the Imperials. What do you think about this?
I think it's a great idea, but if we're here trying to make a deal with these folks, it'd be an awful shame if we didn't get their permission first, right?
That would be an awful shame. Something tells me if they didn't know, it wouldn't really bother them either.
Oh yeah, well I'm thinking, Tammet, is we find out how they'd feel about any of this kind of thing, and then you know, if it turns out that they wouldn't be up for any kind of device on their moon, then we don't ask, we just do, huh? But maybe they'll be fine with that. But no need to do it first. You know what I mean? Like we see how at the moment all we know is that they don't like the Empire and they like these beasts, right? But if they don't mind, they ain't got any. If we can convince them that, you know, oh, in future we might need to set up some devices up here just to, you know, help defend their land, then we've got it in, right? But if they say no, the magic machines can't be on our sacred moon, then I respect that completely, enough to never trouble them with the thought of knowing that this device is on that moon. You feel my drift, Tammet?
I feel your drift, Lieutenant.
You know, you get what I'm ordering you do here, right?
I do. I only wish that you had rode a Ruping so that you could be a part of the moot while I perhaps scouted elsewhere.
Ah, shit, Tammet, when you put it like that.
Sometimes it pays to have a little fun, Trazic. I work out like a code, you know, like when we think we have the answer we need, we can just do a quick little comm link, you know, beep, 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 beep. And then I'll enact the plan regardless, essentially.
Mm-hmm. Well, we see how they feel, you know, and it might just be a case of a nod across the room sort of thing, or wherever, right? Like, yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
Cool. So we cut to Salvo as she comes up with this string of beads, and in Wookiee, because that's all she talks, of course, she says, I've spoken to the other beast riders to make sure that they agree. I know that you are still part of our people on Kashyyyk, but we would like to welcome you as an honorary member of the Klaska Starforger. I would like it if you would accept.
I can think of no greater honor that would bring you closer to us and the Republic, and I closer to you. Says, perhaps, and he sort of thinks, an exchange, and he takes a piece of his own jewelry off and gives it to her. That it has been a long time since you have stepped foot on Kashyyyk, so I will give you a piece of us to carry with you.
Nice. So that seems pretty romantic. Like we hear that you know, the heavy wind music of the Star Wars theme. There's a little hint of romance there. The wind music, the flutes and the like, and yeah, Salpo she stands closer to you. She's very happy to let you give, you know, you took a piece of your jewelry, so she lets you, if you want to put it on her sash, or if it's like something you put over her neck.
Yeah, I think that's exactly so. Put a little bit of jewelry over, or maybe affix it to her sash and look her deeply in the eyes.
Nice. And Zyra, you're doing a great job of being wing Zygarian, and you guys all, you know, no one's focusing on Jalpir and Salvo, but the moment permeates your interaction here as you are introduced into this moot. So
when you are done, right, when you come back up here, Zara will wink at you like, hello there, mate.
What? I don't know what you mean. What? No, we're just.
Well, she was very interested to hear that you are single.
What? Why are you telling her I'm single? What did she say?
She was just interested. I could tell.
You think so?
Yeah. yeah, I mean, she seems nice and you seem nice and you're both Wookiees. I guess, I mean, if you're into female Wookiees, which I presumed from the looks you gave her.
I'm negotiating for the Republic. I'm a noble. It would be inappropriate, surely.
Why? I mean, diplomacy is made by marriage, right? Isn't it? Not that I'm saying we should get married to her or anything, but it's a diplomatic thing.
I have never seen cheekbones like this, Sarah. She is beautiful.
She is, yeah, and that fur that's amazing.
We cut to Salpo. She's got the red sash, right? And she's just slowly kind of holding one of the braids, and her other hand is there on the necklace that Jalpir has given her. Meanwhile, as Trazik and Tamit, you guys are greeted by Pak and Foth Shamar. You see a pair of Ruping ridden by beast riders come over the waterfall, and they both, as a pair, the two Rupings, like wings folded back and then diving over like alongside the waterfall. And this is Rich tries to do. This is like 100 meters, right? And is heading down, and both of them are heading. It's almost like you can sense it. Damn it, Trazik is like a game of chicken as to who is going to pull up versus who is foolish enough to not have the reflexes to pull up and will go crashing into the water at the base of the waterfall. And you hear this like hoot, 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 hoot from some of the different clans as they're all turning to watch this. This is evidently something like definitely drawing their attention, and there's a lot of excitement, especially from the younger beast riders. Looking across the beast riders, majority of them are human or near human, natives of either Arda2 or possibly the Demon Moon, but there are other different species. Trazik, what's one of the species that you see wearing one of the colors of the other clans that surprises you?
That is, quickly goes over to the species helper. The one that surprises me is that there is a Trandoshan.
Oh yeah, that's
That
awesome.
long-standing enmity with the Wookiees.
Yeah, that Trandoshan stands far away from Salbo and Jalpir. It seems interested in this waterfall dive. But Tamit, you also pick out someone that surprises you, or a species that you wouldn't expect being a member of one of these Beast Rider clans.
Yeah, the alien I'm surprised by is the Ortolan. That's the Max Rebo race.
What? Even? That's crazy. The Ortolan stands near this very broad Ruping because it's got to carry a lot of weight. That's pretty great. I love it. It's got this like low rider chopper style saddle. You know? Nice. I love it. Is it bright blue? Like
Bright blue, their feet is propped up on the reins. You know, they're the hands you think are the hands. It's the feet of the Ortolan. They're an interesting race, an interesting species. And yeah, he's laid back with his feet holding up on the reins.
Perfect. I love it. Nice. So you guys see that the two riders are headed down. One of them that has a red Ruping pulls up at the last second, and almost looks like an L, the way that the Ruping throws its wings back and catches enough air to keep from plummeting down into the water. The other one, too late, like it's just a few, it's like a couple meters too late before it starts to pull up, and then awkwardly it slaps into the water and does like this belly flop, and there's a bunch of laughter from the clans as the Ruping and the rider both sink into the water at the base of the waterfall, and the other one pulls up and kind of does this victory lap around the other clans, the wings dripping from all of the water from the waterfall. And there's some cheers, and these people don't clap, but they're cheers and hoots and some jeering for the beast rider who failed in the plummet. Salbo, she doesn't react as much to the plummeting. She seems more interested in standing near you, Jalpir. She moved away so that you could chat with Zyra awkwardly, but she quickly would move back up to rejoin the group with you. She says, Jalpir, do you want to address the moot?
Do you think they would be willing to help us in our attempts to unseat the Imperials from this planet? Whom amongst them will I need to convince?
She looks across. She says, there are two factions. The Klaska, we have many friends among those who dwell on Arda. But the demon moon is under the sway of... She gestures her head towards the Trandoshan. Krusk.
I think Jalpir is taken aback to see a Trandoshan here as well. So this place is diverse, to say the least.
Krusk is respected on the demon moon. It is more dangerous here. And he is very dangerous himself.
He is just a friend who has not met me yet.
I hope that you're right, but I must warn you, he has never been a friend to me. I believe the enmity between our peoples runs cold in his veins.
Then we will try to find common ground and negotiate with him. He must have less love for the Imperials. The question is, I suppose, of who he hates more, us or the Imperial yoke around his neck.
She nods, accepting that logic, but still, you can sense the unease and the worry.
He said, do I address them all or speak to him directly?
You address the moot, but when he speaks for the clans on the demon moon, you will need to speak to him directly and answer his charges.
I see. Then I will address your moot.
Cool. So then we hear some like drums, and it's like the finger drum style. It sounds a little Ewok-y going on as the moot is called together. There's this larger fire that is just far enough away from the waterfall to where it can be maintained with enough fuel, and all of the clans array around the large fire. And Salbo steps forward and declares loudly, "In this moot of all the clans, I demand the right to speak. On the planet of Arda, the Klaska, we have met those who wish to fight against the ones calling themselves Imperial. They have come here in hopes of freeing this planet. And we have offered them friendship and given membership to our clan. There is one among them. He is of my people. He is called the Star Forger. He is Jalpir. He is honored on Kashyyyk, and he has earned honor here. I demand that he be given an opportunity to speak. Her voice is strong and confident, and a number of the clans mutter to each other, but none offer an objection. But you do, of course, see that Krusk crosses his arms and his tongue flicks out as he tastes the wind, but he doesn't offer his objection either. And Salabo turns, says, I hope that that was a worthy introduction.
So it moved my heart. So I will stand and proclaim, I am Jalpir of Kashyyyk. I am here. So the Empire is no more. The New Republic is sweeping it away from across the galaxy. And here we will strike and liberate you from their tyranny. If you stand with us. I said, we have already taken Whisper Base. Their second encampment is all that stands between you and this freedom of this planet. And then, should you ask it of us, should you wish it, we will bring you, if you wish, into the Republic, or we will leave you alone to live your lives uninterrupted. This is your planet, not ours. This is what the Republic stands for.
Nice. And there are a number of the clans friendly to the Klazka, those of Arda, who they nod, and some of them call in various languages their support. But then Krusk lowers his arms and steps forward and calls loudly, this Imperial problem is for your planet, which is weak. The demon moon is free. We have no need of you and your promises. We have no need of more Wookiees.
And is this how you treat each other? That because you look down upon those suffering when there is fighting to be done, when there are places to be liberated, the Imperials never, ever allow freedom. They may not have come here yet, but they will. And if we are pushed away from this planet, if they are allowed to reinforce themselves, they will come with greater forces. This is a chance now and forever to fight them, to push them away. He said, see through your hatred of us Wookiees to see that it is the Empire that is your greater threat. Join us. Stand with us. Together we will be unstoppable.
Ooh, I love it. So it sounds like you're trying to bargain here, or are you attempting, Jalpir, to use your presence to command?
It would be exactly the same dice roll either way, but I suppose I'm trying to command them first.
Okay.
Can I attempt to assist? And when Jalpir's speaking about the New Republic, about fighting the war and whatnot, I think Tammet tries to look as impressive as possible, so that anyone gathered who looks towards the soldiers see oh, they do look like they can handle themselves.
Ooh, so you're trying to help. That sounds
argument.
awesome. I love it. You certainly can do that. Well, it turns out that this is going to be difficult, Jalpir.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, Krusk has these words alone. It will be very difficult to convince him to give over any of his beast riders or allow the Republic to operate on the Demon Moon.
Then I'm going to roll my dice, and I'm more than willing to spend my force point to double the roll or whatever dice this is necessary. So let's see how it goes.
Okay, now you get plus 1d from Temet helping you. So that's nice. Don't forget that.
What was the difficulty?
Difficulty is 20.
Well, I rolled 20, bang on, even before that extra dice.
Jeez, crackers. And a 5 on your destiny. Wow.
Jalpir will look at the Trandoshan and say, "This is no time for your reptilian cowardice. Your people are stronger than this."
Ooh, and I think that angers him. But he looks around and he sees other members of the Beast Riders from the Demon Moon, and they seem to be listening, right? They're interested in what you're offering. But then Krusk says, "You're weak. We have only the words of another Wookiee that you can even ride." You can tell that he doesn't have the support of the others. Now he's trying to provoke you.
Oh, I'm going to roar into his face, Wookiee style intimidation. I know to deal with bullying Trandoshians.
Ooh, nice. When you roar, he's going to start moving forward to try to get in your face. Like at this point, it's the hold me back moment. So I see some things going on in chat. Do any of you want to say this aloud? You see that Salbo stands by you, Jalpir, but she knows this is your fight. So she would only be there in case others tried to join the side of the Beast Riders of the Demon Moon.
I reckon you can take him, Jalpir, one-on-one.
We could have a race, though. I'm just saying.
Hey, Trandoshan, people like this, they see size as like strength, right? And maybe it is, but think about how embarrassing it would be if a little thing like Zyra showed her that she can fly even better than this big beastie boy.
So yes, I will look at him and say, "I come in peace, but do not for one moment believe that I will not defend what we stand for, Trandoshan. Your lies." I said, "Yes." I said, "I could fight you, but we know that you would lose. So it is better. That we we beat you in your own game. I will show we are the strongest, for we will outfly you on your beasts."
Ooh, yeah, and Salvo says, "A challenge has been made and it must be answered." And Krusk the Trandoshan glowers at you, and he looks angry at Salvo. And then Puck, Foth Shimar, and other members of the Klazka speak up, and they start beating the drums, and Krusk is swept up by tradition, and he must accept the challenge. Soon, one of his seconds pulls out this horn, which, Temet, with your survival, you recognize it as the horn of a boma, a large lizard creature that is native to the Demon Moon. And he blows on the boma horn, and this wicked sound echoes across the jungle. And so we'll do a smash cut to Jalpir, I assume, having to get up onto Buka. Nope, not Buka, because that was Poxruping. So I think it would be Yumin, Salbo's mount. And Krusk rides an ancient-looking Ruping. It is big. It's got many scars. It's obvious this Ruping has been many, many battles.
I think I will walk over to Cal and whisper, I may have let my pride get the better of me. This is foolhardy.
Well, why don't you get? I reckon that Zyra's slightly better at this thing than you are, right?
I can't fly anything.
Yeah, what she said. She can fly anything. And she really bonded with that Ru Ping, remember?
I cannot fly the school.
So, like, what's real leadership and what's real weakness is he can't even beat your second. You know? No offense. You know where I'm going right this time. Don't take it personally, right?
Yeah, I understand. I'm maybe young, but I'm not stupid.
All right, I should have known you'd know the grift. Huh?
You're almost winning me over on this idea, because I was about to say, Zhao Pier, you challenged him. You can't possibly back down now and hope for any of us to get out of this with what we want. But Trask makes a compelling case. If you try and talk it around the Trandoshan and suggest that your second is somehow lesser than you, I mean,
Yeah. I understand the whole concept, but you can totally tell him that this little girl can beat him, right? That's basically what we're going for. Hey, Trandoshan, you're not even worth it. I have other things to do. I'm a representative of the Republic. I'll let this girl handle this. This is fine.
Yes, I think that works. That works.
you're going to need to spin this right, Zhao Pier.
Jalpia will approach the Trandoshan and Krusk and look at him and say, "Ha!" said, "Not even worth my time." I said, "You couldn't even beat her before you have the right to challenge me." And I point to Zara.
I wave. Like,
Ooh, sounds like you are trying to. I mean, you've got. This is not going to be super hard, unfortunately, but you're trying to deceive him.
Yeah.
oh, I'm helping. I'm helping by
Oh.
looking very, very like, oh, I'm really feeling honored, but I don't know. I have two left thumbs or something like that.
That sounds great. Good. So we will say that this unfortunately is easy. He is a Trandoshan in his heart, which means that he can be easily fooled by those who are quick-witted and brave.
So I've got
An extra D from the help of Zyra.
Okay. So
And
got,
you don't have any deceive, so you're defaulting to perception.
so let's roll to see if I can grift Krusk. And that is a 14.
That is great. So you're in the middle of Krusk is going to give in to this terrible challenge. He scoffs at the little cat woman, little cat girl. We call her little cat girl.
I stop grifting and I give him this totally confident grin, like, yeah, you don't know what you've signed up for yet. Now, me. And then I'll turn to Pug and ask her if I might borrow Buka for a bit. I'll give her back.
Of course.
Yay! Thank you. And then I go and
leans
purr
your
at
head
Buka.
down for you to mount, and you hear that low purr rumble. But
Yeah.
I think while all of this commotion is going on and the many clans of the Moot are paying attention to what's going on, I think I saw that maybe Tamit might want to do a thing.
Yeah, Tamit, I mean, this distraction is going wonderfully, so it might as well be time to slip out undetected while eyes are all on this race and find a great spot to place this beacon or this booster.
Okay. Well, this is going to be a moderate difficulty as you climb up the waterfall and try to find a place that has a view of the sky. If you remember, that was one of the things that Charcourt asked for you. So let's have you make that moderate difficulty. I think your survival could be a thing that you're doing here. It also could be an athletics action that you're taking. Try to sneak around, or just straight up stealth because you're good at that. So if you want to be stealthy,
Yeah.
and that's the
Yeah, I
main
think
thrust
it'll
of what
be-
you're doing.
I think it'll be stealth. I think he's slipping away. Yeah.
What's the benefit of help assisting again?
1D. You give
Yeah,
a 1.
and does it cost anything?
Well, if they fail, then you're mixed up in the failure primarily.
Okay, well, I mean, I think that will happen anyways. So, you know, Kel will help, you know, with the distraction, you know, like joining in with the cheering and the things. And anytime anyone like sort of starts to veer off, just like going over to them and being like, you know, like whatever the name is for the race, you know, like Rooping race.
I mean, I think as long as we go adhere to the Chekhov's gun theory, it's got to be the drop, right? That's the race that Zyra and Krusk are doing. And it's, of course, like a game of chicken, right? Who's going to hang on the longest? So that is what Zyra will have to do. So Rager Tammet.
That is something we did in the Garden of Aeneas. Like, what was the name? Well, anyway, the ship I grew up with a lot. Only without the Ruping, obviously, but yeah, with these little drifting skateboard thingies, hoverboards. With hoverboards, we dropped down the waterfall and then tried not to dunk ourselves in water. And since I'm a bit shy of water, I usually figured out how to do this pretty well. So I feel very comfortable doing this.
Oh, the water. That's right. Poor Zyra in the water. Oh, this is perfect. Tammet, what about your stealth roll? How'd that go?
All right, here it comes. It's going to be 5d6. I get an 18.
Not only do you get an
Moderate
18,
and the
you got
Disney die is a 6.
Yeah. Now, if that's, did I say that was a difficult roll or a moderate? I can't remember now.
I don't. You know what? I don't
You
know.
said moderate.
All right. So then you are successful with an opportunity. So you scale the waterfall while everyone is paying attention. Looks like you're participating and watching this big duel, which is actually a race. And then you find a patch where it's actually facing towards the planet, and you can hammer in that thing and set the array, and the repeater will boost that signal. And that is going to definitely benefit you guys and your activities. So looking at the time, I think this is like a great mid-game break commercial before Zyra has to face water and also a Trandoshan who mocks her. So we'll go ahead and take our break here. So, of course, the first establishing shot from the return from our brief commercial break is to see Zyra as she's climbed up on Buka, the Ruping, Pox Ruping, who has taken a liking to the young Zagarian, and you come up to this clearing at the top of the waterfall. There are, I would say there's several soccer field lengths before you go over the waterfall, or you got to build up some speed. And the massive Ruping of Krusk is there as he comes over. He hasn't mounted his Ruping yet. He looks up at you. So let me ask you, you're a member of a mercenary group. You kind of hinted towards it when talking about options to help out Arda too. What is it that Krusk might see on you to recognize that you are part of this mercenary group?
Probably have a patch of them on my jacket or something. I mean, I'm pretty proud of being a member of the Unbound, so it's not that I'm hiding it.
He scans over you, says, "The Unbound."
Yeah.
So, you're the little princess. He licks the air and chuckles low.
I grin at him and I say, yeah, I am.
It's too bad.
Are you trying to get me back to my uncle? Because that worked so well the last time.
tell you what, little cat girl, you lose to me, and your uncle will never know where you are.
Are you threatening me? Look, I forgot your name, but you know what? Put your money where your mouth is. Beat me.
Skrusk.
Try. Oh,
I will beat
cool.
you, and then I'll send your worthless carcass to your uncle for the reward. My people will...
Wait, he's still offering a reward? Amazing. Thank you for that information.
Then he walks over and clambers up onto his mount, and there are a number of Rupings that come down here because they want to see you guys when you first take off. There are others who are flying up above, and they'll dip down into the canopy to watch as the two of you plummet over. And the Ruping that Krusk flies upon is twice the size of Buka. You see that it has, there's one part of his wing that's been torn and stitched back together so that it can continue to fly. While Krusk may not be a super honorable foe, his steed is loyal and tough.
Yeah, and also big.
And
Which is not an advantage.
Not an advantage, no, but you can tell that Buka's just her natural instincts. She's just a little intimidated by this larger Ruping. There are a couple of her head moves that seem like she is intimidated a little bit. What do you do with that?
I purr at her because I've heard that sound, and then I tell her, look, we stay away from that guy, but we don't have to fight him. We don't want to fight him. I bet you're as good at dodging as you're at barrel rolling. So come on, we can do this. You just need to be faster.
Nice. I think you're trying to encourage her. So I'm going to call that, it's a little bit of a command roll. You've built a bit of a rapport, so I think it'll be a moderate. And if you fail at it, that just means she's going to be more difficult to handle.
Okay, that's fine. Moderate is 15 or 10? Help me out here.
Sorry, an easy is 10, a moderate is 15. So you need a 15.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's a lot.
It is. It's a whole lot.
But I've got enough character points here. So let's just roll. Oh, wow. I've got rolled to 16. I don't even need character points.
What? Don't even need character points. Oh, that's awesome. You lean down, whisper into her ear, and it seems to calm Buka the purring. And she does seem to understand basics. So, yeah, when I'm imagining that, like, there will be a member of one of the clans here on the Demon Moon that would call out the cadence before you guys take off. Both of the Rupings flap their wings and are kind of laboring to remain in a stationary above the ground point before everything.
I will salute Job here.
Nice. Job here getting a big salute.
Yeah, of course.
May the force be with you.
And with you.
But with you more.
Fox says, please don't kill my mount.
Don't worry.
And then
I can do this.
Go. And everybody's hooting and the drums are firing and you hear the sound of the boma horn fire again. And the wind picks up as your lovely Buka the Ruping, she flaps her wings and darts forward ahead of Krusk. But Krusk and the Ruping are steadily behind you. And by the time you guys start to crest over the waterfall, he's nearly caught up to you. And as you guys start towards the plummet, Krusk, actually, you look over and you see that he's whipping around he's got a slingshot and he's gonna hit you with a sling if you don't do something. What do you do?
I mean, I've got a blaster. That is probably not kind of frowned upon, right? I mean, that's a friendly race here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm trying to dodge it. That's basically what I'm doing.
Okay, awesome. So
Dodging seems like a good idea here.
I think I stuck in just because I saw it in Dave's version of the hyperspace thing, the dodge and block and stuff. But I think that those tabulations are based off like a default number that the GM would roll against. Is that how it's supposed to be, Dave? I'm not rolling dice, so we'll just have you dodge, just a straight up agility maneuver to try to move out of the way here.
Okay.
What's the target number in the
target number is going to be a 15 because he's pretty close.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? It's difficult. He's like right on you and caught you unawares with his cheating. So I'm going to say it's a 20.
Wow, that's a really high roll.
I know.
I mean,
I'm being mean. You're going to get hurt.
Yeah,
It's
you're really
evil of
mean.
me.
Yeah,
So mean. It's the worst.
You're the worst. Okay, yeah, and there is no way. I mean, this is a wow. Okay, I could spend 2 character points because I don't think I'm very good at being hit and hurt, because that would mean I lose dice, right? Would it? I don't know.
Well, it's you would take an injured, and that would impair you until you can get healed. Yeah, so you'd lose a die.
Okay, so wait. I'm using 2 of my character points here. And maybe I'll use more because, you know, I need an 8, so it's a 5. I need another one. I'm using 3. I don't want to get hurt. I'll roll a 6. I made it.
Nice. So yeah,
Good thing I kept all
congratulations.
these
So
points.
that thing whizzes just over your head, like maybe it even clips your ear enough to sting, but it doesn't cause you an injury, and you just barely duck under, and then bam, all of a sudden the Ruping dives down and both of you are following the waterfall, and his heavy weight, he catches up, and now he's passing you just a little bit, but he pulls back just a little bit so that you guys are even, and he's looking across at you. Look at the water.
I've got no time to talk. I've got no time to talk to this fool. I'll just lean into it so we're faster.
Mm-hmm.
And then, oh wait, being faster here is not a good thing. We need to,
It's really about being brave.
Yeah.
And then effectively pulling up. So first we will see if you can ride this all the way down. Give me. Oh God, that's terrible. I think you're gonna have to use your agility because just a strength roll is just not how you're gonna ride this.
Yeah, no, this is
It's
not
not how you've established it.
No. So how many rolls do I need to make? Because I want to spend my force point at one point. But if I'm spending it now and then you come up with another roll, then
that would not be fair. I think one roll sounds good to me. One roll right now. This is going to be. It's going to be difficult for you. So you need a 20 or better.
But I'm using my force point, so I've got 8 dice.
Okay. That sounds great.
That seems doable. Roll the dice. Oh, wow. I rolled the 4. I'm at 14. This is terrible. And the first one is a 1, the destiny die. But I will go and spend more character points. I've got enough of them. Spend 2 more. I want to win this. I need to win this. Come on, dice. Be nice now. This is a race, right? I need a 6 with 2 dice. Yeah, I've got an 8. So
6 with 2 dice is definitely doable.
But still, the destiny die is a 1.
Yeah, destiny die is a 1. I think what happens is, I think you're going to take a condition. So you eke out the victory. He pulls up. You pull up. Just like he pulls up. And you realize if I go just a little bit further and I can successfully pull up without splashing into the water, I win. So all you have to do is pull that off. You spend your force point, all of your character points, but you take a condition from this very stressful encounter. So what do you think is the condition that you take as a result? I could see being tired or possibly taking an injury as being the two that make the most sense.
I'm muted, right? I think I'll take the injury because this asshat over there, he'll try the slingshot thing again just before we pull up. Because if we dip down into the water, right, we would have lost. And as he hits me, but it does not distract me enough.
Nice.
And I'm coming up, and I have a little. I have maybe a little bloody, like he hit me in the head or something, just a glancing blow, but you can still see a little blood on my head. But I win.
Yes, you do. That is fantastic. And there are celebratory yelps and yells from all of the clans from Arda and Jalpir. I think Salbo was so excited by watching this, and she like hugs you because there's just so much going on, and she kind of loses her composure and
I hug her back and roar, and then look at her too deeply and go in for the kiss.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. I don't even know what it looked like a Wookiee's kiss, but we now know.
Slobbery.
Heads. It's slobbery. I love it.
It's a lot of air in people's mouth afterwards.
Later on, they're like happily pulling. That's fantastic. And finally, we cut to Krusk, shoulders stooped, head bowed, as he says, "We, the clans of the Demon Moon, will join the Beast Riders of Arda to rid our worlds of this imperial threat. You've proven your worthiness, and we will listen to your pleas for help." Because, of course, he's got to make it sound like, he's doing you a favor, even though he lost.
And I look at him and I say, you know so much about me, and you didn't know that I was the winner of the Minos race? Wow. Also, I think it isn't allowed to use weapons in this thing. I mean, I didn't use my blaster, but, well, okay. That's how you roll.
She's like sniping in those little bits, and he says nothing. And there is celebration, and there are some of the clans are vegetarian, so they've got their own like fruits and vegetables and other things that they've cooked up. But then there are others who are roasting boma meat as well as zakeg eggs, and it's a feast and a half and a celebration as you guys are all offered honorary membership in the various clans. The Klaus have their first claim on you. Lieutenant Trazik, do you accept the opportunity to become an honorary member, even though you never rode a Ruping?
I mean, I'll point that out. I'll say like, whoa, I never rode a Ruping. If that's fine by you, I don't want to. I appreciate the offer and all, but if it's feels like this is your tradition, and I wouldn't want to break any traditions.
Nice. So yeah, I think then
as I nod over at Tammet, stood in the back, who's just planted a hidden device for the whole thing. Right
now that we're a part of the clan, that's okay. We have the ability to do it.
Is there anything you guys would like from this moot?
I mean, I would like to, what we went over before, patrols, like early warning kind of thing for the base, perhaps provide them with a comm link show the ones. Some of them know how to use it. You know.
Yeah, they actually have technology. Like they have weapons. They have some technology they keep in their lodges, but yeah, they tend to try to avoid being too reliant upon technology.
Yeah. So I want Whisper Base to have a flying patrol, effectively. You know.
Nice one that's effectively invisible because they existed before Whisper Base was taken over. Cool.
And then I guess the rest of them are more kind of like when we make our move planet wide, we'll have the backing of the clans, right? But for now,
yeah,
yeah.
That sounds cool. That sounds
cool. What is that? What do they think of the non-Imperials?
People that are on Aziz, people who don't encroach on their hunting lands, they're fine. Live and let live is very much their attitude. The Beast Riders have their hunting grounds. They don't want people messing with it. If people are respectful when they approach the hunting grounds, they'll allow them to travel through or even live, like the village of Durestead. They kind of ignore. So there's no animosity between the other citizens of the planet, but because the Imperials have come in and encroached and never been respectful and killed a number of their Beast Riders, there's great enmity.
Okay, so that's perhaps not what the people of I can never remember the name, the village believe, because they're scary Beast Riders, right?
Yes, they are way scary Beast Riders.
Yeah, but we know that the Beast Riders don't actually want to prey upon them, which is good, right? Because that means that we've only got to negotiate this peace from one side, effectively. So
yeah, you only have to save the planet from like one less threat. Yay!
Yeah, cool.
Good. So, you guys seem to have worked things out with the Beast Riders, and you have now this kind of advanced scout or patrol that they have agreed if they see any particular and recognize any particular Imperial entanglement coming your way, they'll give you that heads up. When you guys come back to the base, you will find out that Major Mothma has had the Imperial prisoners, as she would kind of refer to them at this point, working on maintaining the base. She would want to talk with you, Lieutenant Drazik. She would say, Kel, she at this point would have taken one of the officers' quarters, right? And she offers you some brandy from one of the core world, just not Alderani, because like that's just a trope. I'm not gonna
super rare as well now, right?
It's also super expensive. But Mothma says, pour yourself a drink. I'd like to talk to you about these Imperials that we have converted.
Liberated, I think, is the term we were using back in the day.
So, tell me, what is your opinion of Toma Haxon? She seems to know her stuff, and I have to say that Mila has spoken positively about her skill set.
I mean, she was the one who told us about that Liadra about Trooper Theranos, and her plan to break out the lieutenant. If it wasn't for Toma, we wouldn't have a heads up on that.
That's good.
She's done good work repairing the gear and everything. Maybe it's just because she knew I was there, but I didn't see it. I checked her work afterwards. There wasn't anything suspicious about it. She always said that she was a conscript, and the files bear that out. If I was the one making the choice, I'd say she's earned our trust so far.
All right, that's good to know. Good to hear too. Winning hearts and minds is the most important battle of all.
Well, whatever means killing less people, I'm all good for.
What about this Pex Lopez? I know Jalpier spoke well of Pex and Pag, but I'm curious about him. He seems to be a little rough around the edges.
Well, I reckon he'd make a damn good drop trooper. You know, he ain't nothing. He ain't easy, but he ain't. If Zhao Pierre speaks for him, it's a war, right? Gonna need warriors.
Pag was a trooper, PX-844, a stormtrooper.
Yeah. Ain't often you get a Stormy that gets a chance to take off the helmet and be a real person, huh?
I don't know of any. I've met a clone trooper or two in my time, but a stormtrooper is completely different.
Yeah. But just, you know, if a clone trooper can choose to go their own way, then I don't see how we can't make the same allowance for a Stormy. I'd get my vote too. And I know that Zhao Pierre ripped my arms off if I didn't speak up for them.
Then the mechanic Baku. He seems, my read of your report is that he surrendered immediately. He's trying very, very hard to ingratiate himself.
He ain't gonna be no, you know, I don't think he's a believer in a cause or anything. He's just trying to keep his head on his shoulders, you know?
Sounds
Don't
like
expect him to fight.
The first that would turn on us if threatened.
Well, yeah. Can always give him the choice to leave.
Can we trust him? Yes, to Aziz and someone from the base spots him, questions him.
Well, I was thinking of a one-way trip off world. Send him off with the prisoners, but not, you know, as a prisoner. If he'd be up for that. But otherwise, I agree that he probably wouldn't hold up under interrogation or anything. But hell, I've seen die-hard fanatics turn traitor when their lives are on the line.
All right. Well, thank you for your candor, Cal.
Yeah, you want to watch out for that droid though in there.
Yeah, tour.
Yeah. Riffin's keeping an eye on him, but yeah, I get the impression Tor would be happier if we all just left the base alone. Stop messing it up with our presence. Imperials or rebels.
Sounds innocent enough. What has you concerned?
Well, I'm just saying, if we're worried about who's going to turn and who's going to break and all that kind of thing, I reckon that Tor ain't on any side but the side that's going to leave him alone the longest.
Some droids want freedom. Other droids doesn't seem to.
I think he wants to do the work. He just wants to do it without any of us meatbags around, you know?
Makes you wonder what he's been through.
Yeah. Now, you got the report on the Beast Riders, huh?
Yes, I've only skimmed it so far, but I will be going over it with a fine-tooth comb.
Well, one thing that we didn't put in the report was Trooper Ardan managed to fit that device.
Good. Glad to hear it. I think that will go far in helping us secure this part of the galaxy.
Now,
I'm sorry.
No,
Go ahead,
you
Cal.
go first. Well, I was going to say my plan was that we hit the Daristad next up. We got to try and get the see if the people here need any help. People who ran in Whisper Base made an example of some of their leaders not too long ago.
I assume that example was not very positive.
Yeah, well, that was Save and the other guy's name.
Sarlin?
Save and Sarlin, yeah.
All right. Sounds like you have an uphill battle there.
Well, I believe that if we show that we can we can bring some justice here. We're making a case for the New Republic, or at least a case for them to stick their necks out for us.
I'll be honest with you, even with the few Imperials that we have recruited to our side, we are understaffed on the base, and I would like to keep you and your team out of the drudgery in the day-to-day operation of Whisper Base and use you as advanced scouts and troubleshooters. So any of the folks that you can recruit from Durstead to help us with some of the more menial tasks and upkeeping the base would be beneficial. And we can, of course, provide them some protection, technology. This could be a beneficial arrangement if you can establish trust with them.
Well, I think Zhao Pierre can work his way into the hearts of just about anyone, as far as I can see.
It's definitely turned out to be quite an asset for your team.
I was wondering, Major, have we got any intel on the enemy yet? Dardon coming down yet?
General Dardano at this point still seems unaware of our presence here on the base. I'm preparing a report and trying to coordinate with Toma to make sure that it has the similar appearance to what Save has sent in the past, hoping to keep the ruse going. I do know that in 1 week, the resupply will be coming to the base, and we'll need to fool that crew as they bring a resupply here. But we honestly need some of the foodstuffs and other items on that ship. Along with that, though, I wanted to talk to you about, well, actually, perhaps this would be better to share with the entire team in case they have any questions. Yeah,
why don't
we'll
we
go ahead.
Yeah,
Convene with your team shortly. Go ahead if you could gather them together, and we'll meet at the conference room.
cool. I go find the rest of the team, and bring them to the conference room.
Cool. So Major Mothma is there, as well as Captain Borskovar. Charcourt and Corin, the other two members of her staff, are elsewhere in the base. And she's requested that you bring Riffin along as well, your astromech droid. Says, well, thank you all for coming. Congratulations for your efforts and successes that you had on the Demon Moon. Bringing the Beast Riders to a partnership with our efforts is a definite feather in the cap for your entire team. I appreciate those efforts, and it has already been noted in my report whenever I am able to drop a coded message back to Republic Command. They'll be aware of all that you've done. One of the main reasons that we wanted to Whisper Base was to listen in on the plans of the forces of Warlord Zsinj. I am currently working on a lead. There's an Imperial freighter. I am 873X. It's a star galleon that has been making precisely scheduled trips along the Selenon Spur for years, even before the fall of Palpatine. Recently, the ship was delayed by a period of 8 days, something that, based on these records, has never happened. That caught my attention. And so I have been analyzing the galleon's fuel capacity and range. There are a limited number of ports of call that this ship could have used for refueling. And so I'm working out a list of Imperial grade starports. And also, I've got Charcourt working on slicing into some of the records of the Bureau of Ships and Services records. I'm going to bounce that against some stellar cartography data that we've gathered to try to figure out why this galleon was delayed. I'm still processing this information, trying to ascertain what's going on, but we have a suspicion that that ship may have made a delivery or perhaps was waylaid.
Pirates.
Do you think the Unbound would be this deep in Warlord Zsinj's empire?
I mean, we're not pirates. We're mercenaries.
I'm
I
sorry.
mean, somebody
Apologies.
might have hired the Unbound to liberate whatever was on that ship. Sure, I can try to figure out if this was the case.
See what you can find out. I would appreciate that, Zyra.
Cool. Sure. Sure.
We expect. Where does the supply, this supply resupply that's coming in 1 week? Is that coming from off-world or from the main base?
It's coming from off-world. There, as far as we can tell, the Gyrene base has no knowledge of Whisper Base's existence.
Occurs to me that it'd be far easier for a group of pirates to take the resupply before it could get here than it would be for us to keep the pretense up that we ain't what we are.
She sits back. That is excellent. And if for whatever reason the pirates bail on the mission, they would continue forward, and then the ruse will do our best to keep it up. But I think that's a better option. Less risky.
And we'll be able, might even, bring the general out of hiding, because he can't risk the main base finding out about his secret project. So we can't tell them that the pirates are acting, took out his supply ship.
Well, if we could bring General Dardano here without him bringing a significant force, that would be excellent. We could effectively wipe off our existence from the map and continue working from within the Empire. That's excellent.
Well, if we really wanted to stick to whip up the Minox nest, we could make it look like it was his rivals. We take the supply ship dressed as Stormies from Jaren base. He's looking to go after his rivals. Maybe his rivals are looking to go after him. We whip up a little civil war between the two generals, and we just sit it out here on Whisper Base.
It's true. Admiral Corlin and General Dardano have hated each other for years. If we could pin this on Corlin, it would bring Dardano out.
Yeah, but if you have slicers and stuff like that, maybe they could figure out how to modify a transponder so it looked like, or some evidence.
Well, I was thinking we have a shuttle that was. No, that would be for doing it the other way around. If we wanted to make it look to the Admiral like Dardano was moving against him, we have all the stuff that we would need to do that. But we don't have something to make it look to Dardano like the Admiral's going against him beyond stormy gear and, like you say, slicing.
Yeah, I mean, they have a. There is I think there is some sort of a black box on the vessel, right? And that would maybe track something that had attacked it. I mean, we would need to slice it like a lot, but maybe we could make it look like it was this other general guy.
If Second Lieutenant Charcourt's already hacking into shipping logs looking for these things, there's no reason she couldn't handle that.
Well, I guess we see what we can do if we can pull it off, right? We've got 1 week to work out a plan, and maybe whatever we find out from this freighter will give us even more of a way to play our backhand. Because someone's already preying on ships out here, maybe.
It'll be best if you can set it up with a little bit of early praying.
We should find the ship before we plan further, right? I mean, right now we're trying to sell sell a grouping before we've even seen one.
Well, I'll continue our research and see what we can find out from here. If you could head to the village of Darrestead, as you'd suggested, Kel, I think that might be the next best step.
Oh, we can definitely get right up on that supply ship in the shuttle, though.
It's true. That's absolutely true.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's go to Darrestead. These are problems for future group to deal with. Today's group needs to deal with recruiting the rest of the natives and unifying the planet against Zsinj. I'm enjoying David's new haircut, by the way.
Yeah, me too. It's Wookiee hair.
That was impressive. I was digging that.
Mm-hmm. Is that village? It's probably not big enough to have a unbound kind of representative mercenary guild.
I don't think so. I don't. No. Yeah, I just don't.
But there is a city on this planet, right?
Yes, Aziz could absolutely have some unbound folks, and that would be really, really fun.
Okay, then that would be something where I'd need to go in the future.
Love it.
So, but let's go through the village first. Maybe they'll have something we can fly.
Cool. So what is the approach? Now, reminder, in your garage, you have a number of speeder bikes. You do have the Lambda-class shuttle, the ATST, and if you were to travel on foot, the travel would be almost a full day through the jungle. So
we also, do we still have the speeder or whatever craft we used when we picked up Mothma and the troops? I remember them, there was like...
Oh, that's right, you stole it. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have that, we could take it back.
Oh, well, yeah. So just so we're clear, the village of Darrestead is much closer to Whisper Base and farther away from Aziz and Jyrene Base.
Oh.
The speeder itself was rented from a place in Aziz.
So. Even better then, because no one's looking for it at Darstman. I think taking that, it's a civilian-looking craft, it would be better than rolling up in Imperial gear and acting like we're about to overthrow them.
Yeah, I have one suggestion. If I went to go, what has my impression been of Sarlin over this time, and particularly like whenever the subject of the locals has come up?
Oh, you're gonna like go to where Sarlin is being held and talk to him about the locals?
Yeah, I mean, maybe I've already done this a couple of times before,
Sure,
but like, what's the impression? What's his attitude towards the locals when I talk about like what he's done before?
Oh, there's no remorse, and he says, well, Sarlin says, Save needed some people to take care of some menial tasks. That's all these villagers were good for. And when they decided to get mouthy, well, I had to remind them of why they're doing what they're doing.
Because you'll kill them otherwise.
Exactly.
Okay. We understand each other, Sarlin. And I go off I ask my Mothma if she's amicable to if she can. I imagine Save is a new NRI asset, effectively. Like a ranking Imperial officer. So like, I don't know if it makes sense to take him away from NRI, but whereas Sarlin is just a trooper, right? And he's a murderer.
Sarlin's nothing but a trooper.
And I'm going to take him back to face the village's justice.
Oh shit.
And the Mando theme tune comes up as I haul him out of his cell with his cuffs.
Nice. Yeah, I think this is a thing where he doesn't know, right? You're not going to tell him, hey, I'm about to take you back to this village. Or do you tell him that?
I think if he asks, I just go, shut up. kick him down the corridor.
Nice. So you guys have him in binders, kind of the same binders that were used for.
And I remind him entirely about you just need a reminder about why you're doing these things. Remember? Same one you gave those villagers.
Oh, yeah, that gets a reaction from Sarlin, but then he's paying a great deal of attention, trying to find his way to get himself out of this very nasty situation he's found himself in.
Yeah, don't worry, Sarlin. I'll make sure it's all fair. I guess we take the speeder because that way we can have him like handcuffed in the back, right? Like,
yeah, right by Zhao Pier, I assume, the big Wookiee.
Is Cal explaining what his plan is here? Because I'm not entirely sure Zhao Pier's in the idea of stringing people up.
I ain't stringing anybody up, but the people what I explain is that he murdered some of these people. He killed them. If you mean that this planet is for them, is for the people of this planet, then that's their justice that he's gonna have to face, not the New Republic's.
How does Zhao Pier react to that?
You said he's our prisoner. He is a prisoner of the New Republic, and we have responsibilities, and he has rights.
And I'll release him into the custody.
I will have no part of this. This is a cruelty. We are worth more than this.
Guess you always climb to the highest tree, right? Never got your hands dirty on the ground.
So I fought in Kashyyyk for most of my life. I will not debase myself to the cruelty and depravity of the Empire.
Empire would have had him against the wall in a firing squad in 5 seconds flat.
That we are not the Empire.
No.
He is a prisoner. He is our prisoner. We can't hand him over to someone and say, do as you will. We have taken responsibility for him. He is a prisoner of war.
He's just another no good Karkin murderer who did it in a uniform and thought it made him okay.
And what does that make you?
A bounty hunter, Zhao Pier. I mean, we'll see how the villagers feel about it, right?
Don't we need Zhao Pier to talk to the villagers, though?
Why?
I mean, or do you want to do the diplomacy thing here?
Hey, I mean, I just think it's important for the villagers to see that justice is being done, even if it is just we take him back, right? But very much the vibe that Kelly's going to be giving is that whatever. We'll see how it plays out when we get to the village, okay? But I mean, yeah.
Yeah, giving Sarlin's a big bargaining chip. I don't know that we would need Zhao Pier necessarily on board if we're like, hey, he killed, some of your elders. We're on the up and up. We're handing him over as a prisoner to you. Do what you wish with him. Like, he committed this thing against you guys. I think that is the angle, right? It's like, if we do this, Zhao Pier is not going to be necessarily leading them up like we want him to because he doesn't agree with this. But if we do it this way, they might see that we have, the power to do what we're saying and we're helping out.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm worrying about. We have the power to do that. That's what Zhao Pier is saying. We have the power to do this. That's not a justification for doing it, right?
No, the justification for doing it is that he murdered those people, and that I feel that it's very important that they have the means. Yeah, exactly. That it's very important that the people of this planet have a chance to see.
Doesn't the Republic have laws and stuff like this? I mean, I'm not in the Republic. I don't care. But if the Republic has laws, then Oh, so it's okay for the Republic to behave like, I don't know, just partners and pirates when they're not in Republic
I'm
space.
not sure
I
I
get it. I'm
understand
fine with that.
what you guys thought you were getting into when you were put on this
No.
mission. Jalpir Zyra, I thought we all understood what we were doing here.
I don't get you Republic guys. That's all. Yeah, because I'm not a Republic person. My part, okay, that's fine. But if you say the Republic is this heroic thing and we are keeping to laws and everybody should keep to laws, then you go like, oh, we're not in the Republic now. No, we're throwing our laws to the wind.
I think Cal just
Okay.
laughs when you say that the Republic are the heroes and the good guys.
That's what you always try to tell people who are not the Republic. But then you behave when you're not in the Republic space, you don't keep to your laws, and that doesn't make you all that much different from the Empire.
We're still in a wartime theater. This is not peacetime. This is not where law and order is the name of the day, unfortunately. And we would very much like it to be so. But to do that, we need to take this planet, and we might have to do things that you don't like. And I'm sorry, we can't capture everyone's hearts and minds doing races with their beasts. We can't do it that way. Sometimes someone has to get hurt.
Listen, Jalpir, Zyra, you ain't happy with this. Your objections are noted on the record.
I'm fine with this. I just wondered if the Republic was all that it tells us non-Republic guys it was, and it's not. So fair enough. It's fine. I don't mind. I don't.
Cal smiles, puts a hand on your shoulder. Now you're getting it. Yeah, I mean, I'm not intending to go and execute the guy, right? We're having Mandalorian style frontier justicey type stuff.
I just like that Trazik and Tamit are both like, no, this is what you do sometimes. There's no good honorable soldier in here in the Republic. Jalpir is that, but he's not, or whatever. But
I fully expect if the elders decide that they want to kill him.
I want to check in real quick. Is this the tone
exactly
we as players want to strike here?
Right. Yeah, thank you very much, Sabine. I was waiting for the conversation to die down just to do an actual check-in. Are we okay with this? Do we want to tilt this and make a different decision? Check in.
I'm definitely not advocating for him to be shot or anything, right? I'm hoping that we get there. And I mean, metagamey, I'm just taking him there to show that the Republic he murdered some of their people and he's down as doing it. If the insinuation is that he's going to be like frontier justice, I'm not expecting him to be lynch mobbed or anything. I don't want that to happen in my tone. That's not what I want the tone to be. I want to get there and like.
I would like to see what Dave has to say about this actually, because what your argument, I understand the argument you're making, and as I said, I'm fine with that, but I don't know if that's what we want to go for there.
What are your feelings on this?
I'm not comfortable. I'm really close to axing this, right? Because this
Star
Wars at all to me. This is not comfortable. Closer to actually open door off the table.
No. Yeah, sure. Well, let's leave it then. Let's leave it then. You know what? You convince Cal that it's not. Let's not take Salin to to face his victims. Let's just leave him behind, and I will leave it.
So you had him in binders, and then you guys had this conversation. Sarlin kept his mouth shut, and then you've got to lead him back, Kel, as you thought better of.
No, Jalpir makes a compelling argument for the Republic's.
Right. Yeah, I'm sorry. You thought better of it after Jalpir made his argument, and
he made a very compelling case, and the in-character dialogue was more along the lines of, let's see where it goes, which was hopefully not going to be what we ended up. But yeah, let's just scrap it and forget about it.
Is everybody cool? Checking in? Is it all right?
I'm definitely cool with that.
We just head over to as heroes of the Republic to go and speak to the people of the village.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, Dave.
Yeah, we good to continue?
You're muted.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
Cool.
Okay. Cool. Thank you for suggesting the check-in, Sabine. I appreciate you. You're a step ahead of me, and I'm into it. So thank you very much. Let's go ahead and continue on. So because we're using the Age of Republic module, I've got a cool pick. So let me find that real quick, just so you have an idea of the layout of Darristead. Not that you're going to do, combat or anything in a little village, but just so you have an idea of, that is the Hunting Lodge. Let me find Darristead. I've saved it 3 times. Very good. There we go. And I can't find it, so I'm just going to go to the PDF. So you guys on the speeder, you head in to Darristead, and you see that it has a low wall, primarily to keep predators out. It is located in a dugout clearing. There are some small bits of farms and a number of huts, and they also have 2 Duracrete, actual poured Duracrete manufactured buildings, but everything else is made out of thatch and materials that were gathered from logging outside of this village. When you guys are arriving, there are some children that are out playing and other folks who are just outside on the perimeter doing some work, and they immediately move within the walls, but they don't close the gates. They just appear to be trying to stay out of your line of sight. Luckily, you guys don't come in looking like Imperials, so that is good. But based on the nature with their only neighbors, there's still a great deal of suspicion and worry. And so you can see many eyes behind, watching you from the safety of their huts. And no one comes out to greet you. They just, as you pull the speeder in to the village, they're just out of your way. What do you do?
I think just as we're piloting into the village, Tamit's going to look around, see the surrounding environs. A village like this is probably a lot of agriculture stuff going on. He wants to get an idea of what this village is enduring under the Empire. If there's a lot of people who aren't working, or a lot of people who don't have, are there a lot of people who look like they're displaced, or they're homeless, or beggars? The idea being, are there going to be people here who want to head to our fort and help it out, essentially? So he just wants to get a lay of the land of the people.
Okay. Looking at our skills, just trying to see which one is most appropriate. I think it's definitely some kind of search role that you're making, looking for important details as you scan over the people of Darristead.
Yeah, so it'll just be a 3d6 perception.
Yep. And your difficulty is an easy.
Okay. I get a 6, 3 on the Destiny die, so just barely pass.
Oof. Okay. There are perhaps a little over 100 villagers living here. You see that there are some who are roasting and cooking up local beasts that have been hunted. You also recognize that they have some trade goods and supplies from Aziz, so they probably do travel to and from the city. You even notice that they have a rickety old land speeder. It's obvious that a couple of the coverings have been pulled off and not yet replaced. The buildings that they have are patched, so they're older, look like they're several decades old, but they've just maintained them. And one of the general vibes, Tamit, that you get as a scout, as a person who can go among people and get an idea of who they are, you get the feeling that this might be for those folks who couldn't make it in Aziz, who maybe didn't fit in an Imperial establishment, fringers, outsiders, and the like, who've come together in this quiet little village.
Okay. Yeah, I'll hold on to that.
Just, is there anybody who looks like they're in charge or anything like that?
scan around, and eventually, among their number, there would be a person who looks like. Sorry, I've got him. I just gotta grab my picture that I hadn't. There we are. So you see a man who appears to be in his late 30s, perhaps 40s. He's dressed simply, and as you guys come in and don't look like you're just leaving and don't steal or break anything, he steps out of one of the huts. Says, welcome to Darristead. I'm Dale Cadru, and I'll type the name in chat. What do you want?
Well, we were hoping we could help you. I hear you've been having trouble with the local Imperials. We just wanted to make sure you knew that they ain't going to be a problem no more.
He searches your eyes, a little unsure. Why is that?
Well, the base has had a change of commanders, you know? And we're worried about the people in this village and the people of this planet and how they've suffered so far. And we're looking to see if you need any kind of help, assistance, a place to hide when they send out their troops, we can offer that.
Looks back at the hut. He seems very nervous. It sounds like you are not trying to command anyone right now, right?
No, I think I'd be more trying to bargain with him, negotiate an arrangement. Mutual benefit, you know?
It's not going to be easy.
No,
You've said the right words, but I'm going to say that this is difficult. Is anybody interested in pitching in? Trying to help allay the concerns of these villagers?
Sure, if I. Or do you want to?
We'll certainly assist. Yeah, what is this, a bargain or?
Yeah, bargain. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'll lend the dice.
Yeah, I think Joe Pierre's probably the better. Joe Pierre Zyra would be better to help him ease them into the bargain. Another soldier doesn't make them feel safe.
So that would be 3D, 40, 5D if I'm being assisted. And what's the difficulty on this one, did you say?
It is difficult, so 20.
20, which means after all fairly high. Do I have to say my force dice before or afterwards?
Force before, character points after.
I will spend my force die.
Oof.
So does that double my result or?
It doubles your dice.
Doubles my dice. Sweet. So 10d6. Just because I have never used my force dice.
I know. I love it. I'm so excited that this
Yeah.
means that much to you.
Yeah. And then we're saying the first dice is the destiny die, right?
We do. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I need to reload. Roll with me. Apparently, it's.
Oh, yes, it does. It times out. No worries.
39, and I do get a 2 on the destiny dice.
Wow. Okay, 2 on destiny die means it's fine. Just count that sucker in. That is awesome. So, Dale Cadru looks at you. He notices Zyra. Jalpir. It's very obvious that he's never seen any non-humans in Imperial ranks. You bolster Lieutenant Trazik's offer with your support, and he nods and says, Is it true? Are you here to help us?
You know, offer the hand from the New Republic kind of thing. Like,
yeah, and he'll move forward and tentatively take your hand, and some children start to move out, and mothers and elders come out with them, still a bit nervous. And the people of Darristead have a lot of questions about what has happened to the Imperials. They would come and force us to work, and when they were angry with us, made an example of some of our elder was killed.
Yes, and the men responsible are going to spend a long time and going to see their day in court in New Republic on the New Republic's trial once we get hold of this planet. They'll answer for what they've done to this village. Now, all I'm offering to you is food, shelter, mutual benefit.
Dale says, I have traveled to your base before. We were forced to clear away some of the brush and the jungle that tried to overtake the walls. It is not very large. Our people, if we are not forced to support this base any longer, we will be peaceful here. We will be happy. But what is it that you need in exchange for having brought us this peace?
We could do with your help, sir.
And I think Deal will move closer and say, do you have anything to offer in trade for our help? He doesn't want you to have to say no out loud with the whole village hearing, but he's hoping to have some kind of barter.
Well, we can give them, like we've got, well, what can we offer? We've got stuff from the base. We've got medical supplies.
Yeah, medical supplies. You could repair some of their technology. You've
Speeder
got...
bike. We've got lots of speeder bikes. Maybe they can use one of these.
Awesome.
Yeah, we'll give them a couple of speeder, but I think like what I'm proposing is like a mutually beneficial thing that, they help support the base helps support them. And if the Imperials ever attack them, we're here to help them, and vice versa. Like an ongoing, an alliance, one might say, of rebels.
That
Perhaps.
sounds good. And I think that Dale Cadru is interested in that, especially since he doesn't have to push the village too hard, because the Imperials really didn't care about them taking any breaks or doing any like getting their own food, all that good stuff. So the villagers are pretty excited about this opportunity. And then when you mention, maybe Zyra mentions a speeder bike, there's a younger villager, maybe about Zyra's age, who says, "You give us a speeder bike?"
I mean, it's not my base, but it got a lot of speeder bikes there. And I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I have no authority there.
Yeah, you can have a speeder bike.
Nice.
Do you know how to ride a speeder bike, though?
Will you show me? I can learn.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's not that hard. Wait, you can't fly a spaceship, right? Probably
Yes, he lies.
Oh, really? Cool. Then it's really not that hard. It's a lot easier. You just have to understand that these things can go pretty fast, and there are all these trees in the way. If you hit a tree with a speeder bike, boom! It's not healthy.
Yeah, there's some nervous there's a nervous response from him at that reaction, but he's not going to give in. Okay, I will learn. You will teach me a speeder bike. I will be a speeder biker.
Yeah, sure.
And let's give a name to this young villager who desperately wants a speeder bike. Maybe Wiener? Sounds good. All right, cool. Sweet. Well, you have secured an arrangement with Darrestead Village to get their help and barter off some of the supplies that you guys have, as well as helping them repair technology and, you know, keep things up. Medical supplies are definitely something that they would happily have. Jalpir, what's your reaction to these Darrestead? Almost all the folks of Darrestead are natives of Arda too. What's your reaction towards them and their fearfulness but hope in accepting the offers that you guys have made?
Speech 14 Cal, right? Just at this point, no particularly strong reactions. If we would seem to be doing the right thing by them, I'll stay quiet in the background for a minute.
Okay. And at one point, Tamit, you we'll say that you've seen that they have like a crate of supplies as you're in one of the villager huts, and they just recently have picked this up from Aziz. And among the limited supplies, medical supplies, you see that they have a few stim packs.
I think Tamit still has some, so he ignores it. He's not fixing or jonesing or anything like that. So he sees it, he kind of marks it. He thinks about how, you know, their leader kind of wants medical supplies, but it looks like they got some at least. But yeah, he's not drawn to it, I don't think. I think right now he's feels good.
Okay.
In fact, I'll mark off the two that I have because I probably would have used them during the game. So next time I'll be Jones.
Nice. Nice. Okay. Anything more that you guys want to do in Darrestead?
No, I think I really just wanted to make sure that we got as much of the natives on board with this as possible, so we're not just trading one set of colonials for another set of colonials.
With that, excellent. You guys working together to bargain with them, and what you offered as a follow-up, they are on board. So we'll cut.
I'll just poke around these huts. This is so weird to me. People who stay on one planet for their entire lives. It's kind of mind-boggling.
And I think Viner is going to follow you around, Zyra. Now that you're, you know, a speeder biker pilot, he's fascinated by you and just follows you around and tries to show off some of the cooler parts of the village. And you see that he has an actual like model of a TIE fighter that he picked up one time on a trip to Aziz. See how and I've studied how, you know, because I'm a pilot, so I've studied how that if I ever was in a TIE fighter, I could make it go fly. I could make it fly.
I always wanted to fly a TIE fighter. They are so maneuverable. This is amazing. I almost got there, but then it was like, no, you're too young. You can't fly the TIE fighter for us in a battle. La la la. It was so mean. I was like 11, I think. I was almost big enough, but I guess not quite there yet.
11.
Yeah.
Do you mature like I do, or is 11 already fully grown?
No, I think I'm mature like humans. I don't know really. I don't know that many humans.
Well, I'm sure that you would have been a good pilot when you were 11.
I was a good pilot when I was 11. Just it was dangerous. These things don't have shields, Zyra. It's true, though.
Oh.
And also it was like, no, you have to be a certain height to fly it. The Bosons were allowed even though they weren't that large.
They should have let you.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I was 11. I was a kid. It was a responsible thing to do, not to let me.
Oh, well, I'm not a kid. I'm old enough and I'm a pilot, so that's different. It's different.
Sure. How old are you?
Oh, I don't know, how old do we want this guy to be? Like, is he 17? Is he 19?
I think that's Zyra's call.
I think 17 is fine. I mean, I'm not
Okay.
that much.
Yeah. So
I'm
he's
not older.
17.
Cool. So am I.
Oh,
Don't tell the other guys. I think they think I'm older.
oh. Well, you look older. Grown.
I basically am.
Cool. So we will do another scene wipe as we come near the end of our session. Is there anything that you guys want to do back on base? Okay.
I'd like to check in with Pags and Pecs.
Nah,
What are they up
Pax and
to?
Pag. Cool.
Pags and
Yeah,
Pag.
you come back, give the report about the success with Darristed, and you find that Pax and Pag are, I'm gonna stick them in the gallery. Like, one of them is literally peeling potatoes, and the other one is prepping some of the food when you come in. And we'll say that Pag is the one prepping food, and Pex is just grumbling as he peels potatoes with this like dull knife.
Well, I say good work, trooper, and I throw him a bag of some food stuff that we brought back from the village. Spices and things like that.
Yeah, I think Pex will say, "Hey, is this from that village? We haven't
Yep.
had any good fresh food since Karking Sarlin."
Well, I think we smoothed all that over now, and we can expect a little bit nicer food, not just Imperial rations.
Pag says, "Good. That was, yeah, that's good. What did you do?"
Well, we shook hands and we made a deal.
And Pex will say, "Oh, Jalpir did it?"
Yeah, Jalpir did it. A smile.
Pag smiles along with that, and Pex is
He's got a big.
Crazy furball.
Yeah. Now, I point down at one of the like wrapped things, and I go like, "I only likes that rare." And from corporal to chef, it's been an interesting career move.
Huh. Yeah, Pex will say, "Well, this will probably pay better."
It'll pay.
They both laugh. Pex asks, "So I hear that you guys are going to be shipping off Save. Is that right?"
Yeah, save and Salim.
Pag asks, "What about Therinos?"
Oh yeah, her too.
Good. Good riddance.
Yep. Well, I know that Therinos really burned the bridges with Jalpir.
Yeah, I'm sure that Jalpir doesn't forgive easy.
Nope. Now, less distractions we have around the base, the better. Now, you all going to be ready for? We got a resupply coming in a week. We're going to have to make sure we're all ready for that.
Pag says, "If you want me to put my trooper armor back on to receive it, I'll do that."
Good man. And I mainly just wanted to check in with some of our NPCs and established that they weren't plotting away in the kitchen or something.
They don't, I mean, Pex doesn't love peeling potatoes, but you get a feeling that they're not trying to foment rebellion on their own here at this point.
Yeah. If you'd said, "Oh, find them in fiddling with the ATST and the mechanics spec," yeah. But yeah, cool. Okay.
Cool. Tamit, did you have any scene that you wanted before we bring things to a close?
No, I'm good.
All right. Zyra, any last scenes?
No, but I think I need to go to the city at one point, but not right now.
Well, that'll be fun. Maybe we can pick up with that. And then Dave, what about for Jalpir? Any last scenes for you?
No, I'm good.
All right. We'll bring the session to a close. I've enjoyed things going on, so let's throw out 4 character points to folks. Oh, some people got low. Look at that. You need those. For some reason, someone accidentally copied the word dexterity onto the force points. How did that happen? I don't know. Easy enough to fix. There we go. Sweet. So let's go ahead and bring this session to a close, and we will pick up next week. So I'll stop the recording here.